I would like to take you through our club. Young Africans is the oldest football club here in Tanzania. It was established in 1935. We're talking about 88 years of age now. The oldest football club, #1 football club in Tanzania, but also the most decorated football club as well. We are sitting at 29 league titles as of last season. #2 is sitting at 22. So 7 more years, maybe Young Africans died for next 7 years, someone will catch us, which won't happen. So we are sitting at 29 league trophies, but we are also leading on the other tournaments that happen in Tanzania. We are the current champion, back to back. The last 2 seasons we won everything here. We won the Charity Cup, we won the league, we won FA Cup. And then after last season, the other season, we won the Charity Cup, we won the league, we won the FA Cup as well. So 6 trophies in two seasons, back to back. But we also reached a level of 49 unbeaten, which is almost like Arsenal in UK. 49 unbeaten. That was, we lost that unbeaten on the December, I think, November, December last year. Yeah. But we're also, we're the finalist of CAF Confederation, the second largest tournament in Africa. Last year, we actually played a final here against a club from Algeria. We lost 2-1, Monastir here. And then we went to Algeria, won 1-0 and 2-2 in aggregate, but unfortunately, the 2 away goals gave them a trophy. So we almost won the first ever African trophy in Tanzania. That was last year. But these improvements for the past 2 seasons that we achieved was a result of a transformation that I want to introduce you to. We struggled from 2017. Young Africans went into a very difficult moment. #1, financially. And you know, if you struggle financially, it will impact in every department. You can't have a proper CEO if you don't pay salary. You cannot have a legal director if you're not paying salary. You cannot even sign the players and maintain the players if you are financially incapable. So we struggled from 17, 18, 20, and then later 21, we said, no, we need to step up and bring this club to where it used to be. In that regards, we came up with a project called Transformation. So Transformation is changing of our club from the old system of operation to a new system of operation. So we started by creating a small committee, and that committee was in charge of the transformation to bring in the knowledge and allow members and fans to make decisions. But unfortunately, we were able to identify that members of that specific committee were not too much knowledgeable to transform by their own. So we said, okay, what can we do? We had an idea of bringing a consultant, person who can be able to, consult us and guide us on what are the bases of transformation, and if you want to transform, what would be a better method of transforming your club. So we ended up engaging La Liga. La Liga is a company registered in Spain that runs leagues in Spain, the Premier League, or sort of division, the Premier League and Division 1 in Spain, with a portfolio of 42 clubs, 20 from the Premier League and 22 from the First Division. They were all under La Liga portfolio. In that regards, they had a wide range of giving us knowledge on how Madrid were running their club, how Barcelona is performing in terms of every department: finance, marketing, sports, youth development, legal, and all those aspects, and also structure of their leadership and club ownership as well. In that regards, we signed an agreement with La Liga. You can see the contract was based on 4 elements or 4 departments. Number one was Young Africans itself, where the club subjected to transformation.
Yes.
And La Liga was our consultant. But based on La Liga, they give us Sevilla as part of our resources to transform. When you're talking about marketing, we reflect on what Sevilla is doing. When you're talking about football development, what Sevilla are they doing in terms of the individual departments? But on top of that, we had a company called GSM. They were the sponsor of that consultation fees. So you can see 4 elements that were coming together to do the transformation of Young. Twende. So all these are resources coming from different aspects, talking about audio, visual, business intelligence, commercial, and they're coming from different. Some of them are coming from La Liga itself. Some of them are coming from Sevilla. So and the consultation were based on innovative, something which is properly designed, but also has to be Tanzanian context based. We cannot come up with ideas from Spain and implement as if you're living in Spain. You know, the lifestyle, financial capacities of all the members and fans and the club are too much. You know, the difference is too much here. So we said we have to have an element of Tanzanian context. That's why the committee was there. And also goal-oriented. What are we targeting? We're targeting to transform a club. So we have our problem as Young Africans, and La Liga can have solutions. So it should be a goal-oriented. We need to reach a level of where the design is well planned. And also, it should be something which is long-term. So we came up with, based on the advice and everything, we came up with a number of phases, I can say, or seasons. We call it season because we're in football, but normally these are phases. So the phases were divided into 4. And phase number 1, which is a priority, was number 1 is the management, and number 2 is fan engagement. Now management was divided into 2. Number 1 is club ownership. How can a club be owned? Is it by association, or is it based on, is it private or public? And number 2 is the structure of that club, the structure of leadership.
Yeah.
And so that was under management. And then fan engagement. We wanted to understand why Real Madrid is the richest football club in the world with any investors in place. It's only membership club. The only members. Why? How are these members supporting their club to be one of the richest clubs in the world? So we wanted to learn from them. And then we had season 2, which was also a complete transformation, which were catering about management, fan engagement, digital platforms, how the digital platforms are run, what will be the marketing direction of a football club, what are the structure of sales of a football club, what are you selling actually, what products can be engaged with the club, and what are the modes of selling online, or you have your shops, or having some affiliations with a number of stores in the country so that you can sell your kits. And also communication. How do you communicate as a football club? Nowadays, like I said, some of the communication modes can bring finances to the club, can bring revenues to the club. So how do you communicate? You create other channels like YouTube so that you can be able to sell your content, and those contents can be able to give you money, but also attract sponsors. Say, okay, these guys, they have the best content. If you post one post, you can get, let's say, 2 million likes or 1 million likes or 500 likes. In that regards, if I put my advert related to this advert, I can be able to sell my product or advertise my product. Talking about sponsorship, what are the engagement in football clubs with other third parties, with sponsors? What are the venues for them to come and invest and sponsor your club? But in return as well, Is it value for money? Or these guys, they're just paying in year one, they sponsor, they don't get the value, and end of the contract, they walk away. Or you add more value, giving them mileage, giving them visibility, giving them proper, audience when it comes to your games, allow them to bring their customers and enjoy the games, let's say free tickets, VIP tickets, treatment. Allow your sponsors to affiliate their product with your players. Allow the players to be part of the marketing of your sponsors as well. And then you're talking about also economical controls. Are you having clear lines of economical controls in terms of payment? Are you following the proper methods of approving the payments? Do you have a proper procedures for payments from the finance department? Or the chairman is just walking into a stadium and say, get collections, put it in his pocket and walk away? Are you having the clear, systems where, as a football club, you can be able to realize your revenues and control as well your expenses, approvals in place, signatories in the bank accounts, and are you doing auditing as well? So these are areas where you can do in economical controls. Last but not least is compliance and legal. Are you having your contract in place so that you don't create venues for other people to either terminate your contracts without and just walk away for free, or honor your contract and in return you get nothing from the contract? What about the contract with your players? Are you putting the contract in place so that everyone knows his roles and responsibilities? And so do I. I mean, as a leader, you can be able to say, now this contract is in place, someone breached the contract or someone is performing the contract as per the terms and conditions. So that was on phase 2 or season 2, and then season 3 were more of the same but improving on different levels, but also adding what it calls sports projects. You're talking about football clinics, allowing the young kids to be affiliated with the club and understand the culture of the club and connect them with. And also on season 4, it's more or less the same, but adding into international developments and relationships, talking about summer camps, just to add more services into the club. So what we did is we signed an agreement with La Liga on phase 1, which was more of 3 aspects. Number 1 is the model of the ownership of the club. Number 2 is the renovation of club structure in terms of the structure of the club. Now, if you're coming up with a new model of ownership, it has also be in a position of fitting the structure of leadership of the club. And the second part was fan engagement. Twende. So I'll go briefly, Twende. Rudi nyuma. Rudi nyuma tena. I'll go briefly on tena mpaka nikwambie. So, like I said, we were looking at the club structure, the model of ownership, and the fan engagement. Twende mbele. On the club ownership, Twende, we learned, so this is like a brief of what we came up with. There are 2 types of ownership of the club. Number 1 is associations. These are the clubs that are, I can be in the fans, the members, and their club. Like Yanga now, when Yanga win, you will find everyone running on the streets cheering. When Yanga lose, you will find everyone complaining, because there's an emotional connection between the club and the members and fans. And likewise, to these private football clubs, they think that this is your club. I mean, you lose, they walk away. They come to a stadium, watch the game. After they lose, wash their hands and they go home. Nothing personal. There's no, I can say there's no emotional connection between the club and the fans, because they feel that they are not part of the club. That is a disadvantage of a private football club. But the main disadvantage of association is they don't allow a room of investment. This is one of the areas which is very important. If the club is owned by the public, how can you come and say, I want to build a stadium here? You use your money to build a stadium, but at the end of the day, the ownership goes to the public. So there is no room of investment, which was something. Otherwise, if we agree all together that we donate $1, we can donate $1. But there's no way myself I can pick up and say I put $1 million to a project which is owned by the public. So that's a main disadvantage of association. And the main advantage of a private football club is a room of investment. So it's like a vice versa. You can see Azam Football Club. It's one of the, I can say, it's one of the youngest football clubs here in Tanzania that does well, right? We're not talking about 20 years. They're even less than 20 years, to be precise. But Azam Football Club, today they have a stadium which is maybe 5 or 4 years, 5 years, maybe 6 old. In that regard, they were a room of investment. A company who owned by an individual or specific groups, they can say now we can be able to invest in the stadium. They have a control financially, they have a control of ownership as well. And that brings to a level of saying these associations, these sports limited company, they have a good window of investment. So two advantage and disadvantage is association, it's sports goals, funds, property, social and emotional factor, the biggest advantage. When it comes to association, to sports company, they have economical goals, they have shareholders, ownership, and then there is a room of external financing. So when we were doing this transformation, we had to learn both of the options. Remember, Yanga was 100% association. Then we said, okay, can we be able to either remain on the association or move to a public, to a private? What would be the advantage and disadvantage? But the committee decided that we'll go for a mixed model. So that mixed model caters both. We decided to go with a mixed model because we wanted to have both options at a time. So we are catering for sports goals, we're catering for funds, property, and also emotional factor by providing the association, still keeping the association in our club, but also opening a window for investment whereby the economical goals and external financing can be achieved. How? Next slide. Is by having 51% of association and 49% of members. Yes. Of 49% of investors. Yeah. If you look at the structure, it allows now both options. It allows the 51, like majority shareholders, still the members, and 49% allowing the investors to come in and be part of our club. So that was the decision later on, and it caters for the club ownership. Twende Ali. In that regards, we also, Twende, I'll tell you, Twende. The second part which was very critical, Twende. The second part which was very critical was the structure of the club that allows, Twende. Nyuma. Rudi, tena. Up. So we had to create the structure of the club to allow the 49-51. So in that regards, if you can see, there are 3 pillars there. There's one pillar which is Young African Sports Club. We had to remain Young African Sports Club to maintain that 51%. And the second pillar, it's a new pillar, which is Young African Sports Club Company Limited in the middle. And the third pillar, it's a pillar of investors. So the investors can sit on the far end, Young African Sports Club can sit on the first end, and then have a company in the middle that, you know, coordinate the 51-49. And that company will run now Young Africans in the middle, which will have the board of directors, which will be 9 members, 5 from Yanga, 4 from the investors, and the board will have a chairman, and the chairman will have, I can say down there, you have now a CEO and the rest of the departments of the club. So the first wing is to cater for Young Africans Sports Club as the base and owner of a new company with 51 minimum, and the investors will have 49. So how are we getting these investors? Is by evaluating the club, having the proper valuation of the club, and then sell up to 49%. Okay? So that was a proper structure that allows the investors and Young Africans to come together by having a vehicle. So this special vehicle, it's the Young African Sports Club Company Limited, which in the beginning will have 100% of Yanga, and then we'll start selling. If you sell one share, it will remain 99-1. If you sell 10, 90-10. If you sell 20, 70, 80-20. So that was the second part, which was the club structure. And the final part was fan engagement, whereby Young Africans now can be able to stand in front of you and say, we are the largest football club in sub-Sahara Africa with the biggest number of members. We have registered 70,000 members until now that has paid their membership fees of almost $12 a year, sorry. So $1 a month, which is $12 a year. And in that regard, we collected over and above 1.5 billion T-shillings last year from the members and fans, compared to $10,000 from the previous year. So from $10,000 to almost $700,000 the next year. Yeah, $5,000 to be precise. From $5,000 to $700,000 in the next year under this. So we have special cards of registration. So all our members, they have special cards. They do register from our own system. But number two, this season we've opened up relationship with the bank. You can go to CRDB and register yourself, get your card, which is a debit card. This is one of them. A debit card which is co-branded, talking about Yanga and CRDB. This is a membership number, card number, and then the information of the members. Yeah, so through the banks. And we haven't limited ourselves by saying it's only one bank. We have signed an agreement with three, the largest bank here in Tanzania. So whenever you are, you're in Moshi, you don't have to find the Yanga branch. You can just go to CRDB, get registered, and pay your membership fee. Finally, we get all the information of the members registered and the revenue as well, which helps the club. So this is where we are now. We have the, like I said, the next phase, which will be youth development and also and other departments in terms of building them well. We also have in our portfolio, we have 4 teams, senior team, which you'll be able to see them today, under 20, under 17, and younger princes, which you can also be able to see them today in our training center at AVIC. Thank you very much. I've exhausted a lot, I'm sure. We have a lot to talk, but according to time, yeah.
Thank you. So that was really excellent and clear presentation, and I'm looking forward to obviously the next part of our itinerary. I think we do some media and then we go into the training ground. So I won't get into a lot of questions now, but you have given me some really great framework. And I do have some questions maybe later during when we're at the training ground and so on. We can discuss some of these issues around the structure and how you're progressing that in a bit more detail. But that was an excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We will be now.
Okay.